All right, we'll stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Rick, did you get that note that we have September 8th in the minutes as well?
Yep, I gave it.
So you got it to read it?
Yep.
I think I got this,
Oh, no, that,
hold this chair
the
now.
one that I had,
Just on resolution 299, it would be September 2nd and September 8th. Okay, I'd like to call this meeting of the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board to order for September 8th, September 15th. What is this?
50.
That's good. That's close enough.
September 15th, 2014. Roll call please.
Bernie Bassett,
Here.
Thomas Wood,
Here.
Martin Mannix,
Here.
Michael Cashman.
Present.
Brian Brendan.
Here.
James Coffey,
Here.
Rick Collins.
Start. Resolution 299, approving the minutes of the previous meetings.
Resolved that the minutes of September 2nd, 2014 be approved and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
A motion.
So moved.
Mr. Renner, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? And I believe that should be September 2nd and September 8th.
Yep.
Okay? If not, we'll have a roll call, please.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes.
Brian Brendan.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. The next one we have is a resolution that had been tabled from a prior meeting. That would be resolution 296, bid award for base sewer slip lining contract 2014. Thank you.
Whereas Resolution 14-252 was authorized to establish a capital project for the base sewer slip lining, and all bids were received and opened on September 4th, 2014. Whereas bids were received from Granite Construction, RO Construction, and Precision Industrial Maintenance. Whereas Scott Slaughter, Director of Water and Wastewater, Ronald E. LaBerge Engineering and Consulting Group, and the Supervisor and Town Clerk have reviewed all bids received. Therefore be resolved that the contract for base slip sewer lining 2014 be awarded to the low bidder, RO Construction, 51 Powder Mill Bridge Road, Kingston, New York, 12401, in the amount of $156,500. Excuse me. And it be further resolved, the town board approved the contract as recommended. And it be further resolved that payment be made payable from 2014 capital project budget account, and that a copy of this resolution be given to the Director of Water and Wastewater Department and the Finance Manager.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Renner, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion?
I did meet with Scott. I had, because I had mentioned some concerns that I had with there not being what appeared to be a cap on the cost. I was concerned that there might be a possibility that this could actually end up costing us more than the next lowest bidder. Scott assured me that that can't happen because we only have a set amount of money in the account that we have already authorized for spending, and it is considerably lower than the next lowest bidder as well. Another thing is that this outfit is experienced in slip lining, and there was some question as to whether or not the next bidder would have actually been hiring this outfit to do the slip lining. So with all that in mind, I think that this was the right choice, and so I'm satisfied with the explanations.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes.
Gerard Bernadette.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 300, abstract.
Resolved that the abstract of audit claim number 9B-14, 1636 to 1735 for $229,233.52, and abstract 9B-14, 332 to 353 prepays in the amount of $395,578.30 be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisors hereby authorized to pay said.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Cashman, second.
Second.
Mr. Renner, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Martin Manick?
Yes.
Michael Cash?
Yes.
Gerard Renner?
Yes.
Bernie Bass?
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 301, Building Maintenance and Safety Committee Monthly Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Art Roll, Building Maintenance Supervisor for the month of July and August 2014.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Cashman, second.
Second.
Mr. Renner, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Martin Manick?
Yes.
Michael Cash?
Yes.
Gerard Renner?
Yes.
Bernie Bass?
Yes, resolution carries. I'll do one more. Resolution 302, Codes and Zoning Department Monthly Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Steve Imhoff, Code Enforcement Officer for the month of August 2014.
Have a motion. Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Martin Manick?
Yes.
Michael Cash?
Yes.
Gerard Renner?
Yes.
Bernie Bass?
Yes, resolution carries. We're going to deviate just for a moment because we received a letter actually on July 10th, so this has been a little while percolating. We had to do some investigating to make sure everything was appropriate. That was written actually to Chief Randall from Mr. Rick Harp, who's unable to be here. And I give Rick a lot of credit. He did what a lot of us sometimes think about doing, but he actually followed through. And he put something in writing that he observed that he thought was very commendable. And I think this evening we have Fireman David Rabideau here. Is that correct, Dave? Yes. Hi, Dave. I have something for you. And this fine gentleman, Mr. Collins, is going to tape this. And as we, and it'll be on cable TV at some point.
I heard that.
You heard that. And I'm going to tell you, David, as we tell the youngsters that come here and get awards sometimes, you can DVR that, you can pass it on to your grandmother, your family, the kids, and let them see what the difference is between stopping and doing the right thing and simply doing the thing you were doing, I guess. So I have a proclamation I'd like to read to you, and then I'll ask you to come up to receive it. It's a proclamation of recognition. The date on this, I'm going to be honest, was August 18, and between our getting it done and getting to you, we blinked and a couple weeks went by. That doesn't change anything, because whereas on June 8, 2014, Fireman David Rabideau, a fireman with the Morrisonville Volunteer Fire Department, was on his way to the annual Fireman's Field Day and passed by a home where he noticed smoke coming from the front porch. And whereas Mr. Richard Harp, a resident of the town of Plattsburgh and owner of the Old Orchard Mobile Home Park, a business in the town, was witness to the actions of Fireman Rabideau. And whereas Mr. Harp observed Fireman Rabideau in the performance of his duties and has acknowledged that behavior as having a, quote, level of excellence and professionalism, end quote, that was commendable and worthy of notice. And whereas due to his instincts and training, Mr. Rabideau stopped to investigate further and identified that there was a fire in a bedroom that would have engulfed the home had it not been immediately addressed. And whereas Fireman Rabideau then took immediate action, calling in the fire department and worked to get the fire under control, preventing it from spreading to other homes and nearby fuel tanks. Therefore be it resolved that the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board would like to commend Fireman Rabideau for his swift action professional response, and willingness to assume responsibility. And be it further resolved that the town board expresses its appreciation to all our volunteer fire departments who serve the community, and in this instance to Mr. Rabbit, for his skills and willingness to protect and serve the community. Congratulations, Steve.
Forgot to turn them around. I want to make sure you see that.
You usually have the parents go out for ice cream.
Thank you all.
Maybe Kevin-
Congratulations.
Kevin should
Thank you
take-
very much.
I know you'll have stories to tell about them later, but, congratulations to everybody.
When the,
Good job.
Congratulations.
when the youngsters are here and they receive awards, their, superiors take them over to Kerrigan's for ice cream. Offer that suggestion.
I think this will be a story for the banquet.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Very well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, appreciate it, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Great.
You guys all did a good job, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
We know what it takes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Again,
Thanks
thank you.
again, appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Our volunteers are so humble, and it's so, it's just what you do, I guess, right? But we need to always be sure to follow up on things like that, and I appreciate you bringing that to our attention, Marty. Ricky, you made some calls today too, and I appreciate that, last couple of days. It's what makes the difference in the community you want to live in, and one
That's right,
that, we move on. It's a great story. Back to the regularly scheduled program with Resolution 303, Highway Superintendent's Monthly Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from James Wood, Superintendent of Highways for the month of August 2014.
Motion. Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
And Mr. Cashman, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Martin Manick?
Yes.
Michael Cashman?
Yes.
Gerard Vanderbeek?
Yes.
Bernie Bassett?
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 304, Parks and Recreation Department Monthly Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Melody, the Fire Recreation and Youth Director for the month of July and August 2014.
I have a motion. Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Cashman, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Martin Manick?
Yes.
Michael Cashman?
Yes.
Gerard Vanderbeek?
Yes.
Bernie Bassett?
Yes, the resolution carries. Resolution 305, Planning Department Monthly Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Phil Von Bargen, Planning and Engineering Department Head for the month of September
Have a
2004.
motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Rennigan, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Martin Manick?
Yes.
Michael Cashman?
Yes.
Gerard Vanderbeek?
Yes.
Bernie Bassett?
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 306, Supervisor's Monthly Financial Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a supervisor's financial report for the month of August 2014.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Rennigan, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Martin Manick?
Yes.
Michael Cashman?
Yes.
Gerard Vanderbeek?
Yes.
Bernie Bassett?
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 307, Town Clerk's Monthly Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Eric Collins, Town Clerk, for the month of September
Have a
2014.
motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Martin Manick?
Yes.
Michael Cashman?
Yes.
Gerard Vanderbeek?
Yes.
Bernie Bassett?
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 308, Water Wastewater Department's Monthly Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Scott Stoddard, Water and Wastewater Director, for the month of August 2014.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Cashman, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Martin Manick?
Yes.
Michael Cashman?
Yes.
Gerard Vanderbeek?
Yes.
Bernie Bassett?
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 309, purchase of a 1-ton dump truck.
Whereas Oneida County has awarded a bid for 2014 or newer vehicles with piggyback and provisions. And whereas Scott Stoddard, Director of Water and Wastewater, and the town attorney have reviewed the bid piggybacking provisions. And whereas the town mechanic has deemed the current 2000 Dodge 3500 beyond repair due to frame separation and various moderate repairs. Therefore, be resolved that the town board approve the purchase and recommendation that the water and wastewater director is hereby authorized to make for said purchase. And it be further resolved, the purchase of a 1-ton dump truck from Van Bortel, 71 Marsh Road, East Rochester, New York, 14445, in the amount of $76,123.05 be approved, and it be further resolved that payment be made payable from the 2014 water wastewater budget account, and that a copy of this resolution be given to the water and wastewater director and finance manager.
Have a motion. Mr. Woods, second.
Second.
Mr. Renner, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Michael Cassidy.
Yes.
Gerard Renner.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes.
Onondaga.
Yes, I'm sorry, I underlined that, meant to bring that out. It's Onondaga, just for the record, Onondaga, not Oneida.
Oh.
Rick, is there any way that you could adjust that
Uh,
feedback? I
that's
think
what
everybody in
I'm
the
turning
room
down.
is hearing the,
I thought it was Mr. Heath clicking his teeth.
We're good.
I'm going to continue.
all right.
Resolution 310, advertising for the sale of surplus equipment.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh has equipment that is no longer needed or useful and is necessary to take said equipment out of service. And whereas in the request to identify surplus equipment from various town of Plattsburgh departments, the following equipment has been recommended as surplus and no longer needed, as so noted. And whereas it is resolved that the town board does hereby authorize the sale of said surplus equipment that can be seen at the town hall during regular business hours, with all questions regarding the list of equipment or materials directed to the town clerk's office. And to be further resolved, it is the responsibility of any prospective bidder or purchaser to investigate and ascertain the condition of the items being sold prior to the date of bidding. And that the town of Plattsburgh is making no representation, warranties expressed or implied with respect to suitability and fitness of these items for the purpose of which they may be utilized by the purchaser. And all items are sold as is. And it be further resolved, the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to have an advertisement published in the Press Republican for sealed bid with non-conclusive bid form, returnable on or before Friday, October the 3rd, 2014, at 2:30 p.m. prevailing time at the Town Hall, 151 Baker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, 12901, at which time said bids will be opened publicly to sell all rights, title, and interest of surplus equipment listed as in whereas condition. And it be further resolved that the town of Plattsburgh does not willingly know latent defects and lay any claim or knowledge to any latent defects. And it is further resolved that no upset price for the above equipment by the town of Plattsburgh shall reserve the right to reject any and all bids and waive any informalities to which the bid and make any addition to the list will be posted in the town clerk's bulletin board, and a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and department head.
A motion.
So moved.
Mr. Renner,
Second.
second. Mr. Cashman, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Michael Cassidy.
Yes.
Gerard Renner.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 311, 2014 culvert type order.
Where the necessity to continue maintenance and improvements of the roadside drainage ditches and the stormwater drainage system within the town requires the need for additional drainage pipe. Whereas James Wood, Highway Superintendent, has submitted a letter dated September 10, 2014, requesting permission to place an order for plastic culvert pipe through the Clinton County contract for the 2014 work season, excuse me. Whereas the total estimate cost of the pipe is $10,618.45. Therefore be resolved that the town board is hereby authorized the purchase of said pipe, that the highway super is hereby authorized to make said purchase, and it be further resolved that payment for purchase be made payable from the 2014 drainage pipe account, and that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and highway superintendent.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Cashman, any discussion? Not directly about this, but I would just underscore, I sent an email to everyone today. It's something I clicked from the comptroller's report about the concern for municipalities not investing in their infrastructure. And his concern, yeah, you're thinking what I was thinking at the very same time, Mr. Mannix, which is why I sent it around, and shared it with a couple of people here. The concern being that he's acknowledging you can't let the infrastructure go. At some point, you're going to have an even bigger problem. And infrastructure is more than just water sewer, as we know. I'm pleased that we've continued to nibble at ours. We've got some pretty good plans in water sewer. We are expanding our water supply. We're doing these slip lining projects, etc. We continue to pave, even though it seems like each year we pave a little less because the cost goes up a little more. My concern was, though, and it's why I'm making public note, the acknowledgement that the lack of investing in the infrastructure can have huge ramifications is certainly a reality. But the other reality is the cap on the levy that, as I mentioned before, in the town of Plattsburgh leaves us around $80,000 in a multi-million-dollar budget. You don't invest too much in your infrastructure. The cap presents some pretty serious complications, as well as the fact that we've been driven, municipalities as well as school systems, to spend their surplus. And things have been designed such that you would. And at the same time, we've got the comptroller's office that's also has been acknowledging that for a while with the fiscal stress monitoring that began last year, that you can't run a business very well if you're not investing in your business and you have absolutely no savings, no cash reserve. It was almost ironic, but it certainly bears noting and bears even more, I think, comment. And you probably all know in this Strictly Business most recent edition, a article that was co-authored by our town attorney is featured. I think it's a part one, and there's some more of it later. And I'd asked Jim if he had gotten any feedback on that, because I would suspect it would be a little bit controversial. What's being proposed that municipalities should be profitable. I'm going to leave it at that, a little bit of a cliffhanger, and say if anyone hasn't read it, they should get it and read it and understand what's meant by that comment. And I think all that does fit in, especially as we're working through budgets to try and achieve all goals without a goose laying any golden eggs. It's a little bit challenging, to say the least. But anyway, that's my comment that's generic to behind culvert pipe.
Not so much it does, the fox keeps taking the eggs.
Well, I think somebody ate the goose, so there aren't even eggs anymore. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Mark Granick?
Yes.
Michael
Yes.
Capson? Bart Rendick?
Yes.
Bernie Bass?
Yes, the resolution carries. Resolution 312, RFP for uniform rental services.
Whereas it is good business practice to solicit quotes to obtain the maximum value for every dollar expelled. And whereas the town's current uniform rental agreement has expired, and the town wishes to obtain new quotes, now therefore be resolved that the town of Plattsburgh Town Board is hereby authorized the supervisor to solicit and receive proposals for uniform rental service for the period of 3 years. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager.
A motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Renedick, any discussion?
Yes, I would suggest that we modify the RFP so that it reads for a period of 3 1/3 years. cover the remainder of this year and then cover 3 years. So that if we were doing budgeting or under any labor negotiated contracts that we enter into, we'll have an idea of what those costs are gonna be.
I'll speak with Pat about that. I would suggest, I mean, we'd almost have to do that, given that we would enter into an agreement probably before this budget year is out, and then it would go forward. So we'd want no less than 3, including whatever number of months would be the balance of this year.
Right. And it probably can be jawbone to be for a period to go through December 31st, you know, of a 3-year period.
Balance of this year plus 3, okay? Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Minick,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes.
Robert Rendudet,
Yes.
Bernie Bass.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 313, no parking sign request.
Whereas Highway Superintendent James Wood has requested in a letter dated September 11, 2014, the installation of a no parking sign on Westwood Drive area to improve site clearance for vehicles exiting from the road, snow plowing, and for future designated pickup area of the CCPT. And whereas the Highway Superintendent James Wood has visited the site, conducted an evaluation of said location, and has provided the town with a letter of the proposed location of the no parking signs. Therefore be resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, does hereby authorize the highway department to install and maintain no parking signs at the proposed location as outlined in the letter received from the highway superintendent. And to be further resolved, the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign all related documents relative to the purchase of road signs and to be made payable from the 2014 highway budget account. And to be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the highway superintendent and the department, highway superintendent, planning department, and finance manager.
Have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Cashman, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion?
Do we know that he's going to enforce these no parking signs? Because there's been instances before in the town of Plattsburgh where we've had signs put up, and we also have a noise ordinance in the town of Plattsburgh that we can't get enforced. Do we know that we're not just wasting our money by putting signs up?
My canned response to that, Gerard, is by having the signs, it will enable enforcement.
Keep it honest being honest, that's about it.
That's it, the honest people won't park there, but if you had bus stop there, it would do the same thing. You know?
I believe what you'll find is if a bus goes to pull in and there's a person parked there, yeah, they'll take their phone and take a picture.
All right.
And I think
I'm just hoping that they'll have better luck enforcement than we've had with our noise ordinance, but
I know where you're coming from.
I
That's
understand, I
an
understand.
irritation.
Yeah.
although Mr. Bassett will regale you with the story of the recent victory.
Got one. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Minick,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes.
Gerard Rendudet.
Yes.
Bernie Bass.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 314, Moffett Road Water District Ban Renewal.
Whereas on October 1st, 2007, the town board approved resolution 07-245 for the issuance of a bond anticipation note for the amount not to exceed $1 million for water improvement. Whereas resolution dated October 1st, 2007, deregulated the supervisor with the authority to renew the annual ban. Whereas the current ban matured on September 19, 2014, and the interest rates have been sought for the renewal of the Moffett Road Water District ban in the amount not to exceed $825,000. Whereas the following interest rates were submitted to the finance manager, as so noted, with Glens Falls National Bank and Trust Company submitting the lowest interest rate. Now therefore be resolved that the town board award the Moffett Road Water Ban renewal to Glens Falls National Bank and Company. The supervisor is hereby authorized to sign all necessary documents pertaining to the Bain renewal, and that a certified copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and the director of the water and wastewater
Have a
utility.
motion. Mr. Woods, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion?
It wasn't much lower than 0.8% last time.
We've been doing well with removals, really well. Which is great, because it's a little scary when you have 3, 5, 6 banks and only 2 respond. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manning,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes.
Gerard Rendebeck.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 315, reappointment of Kevin Cosgrove to the Board of Assessment Review.
Whereas Kevin Cosgrove's appointment to the Board of Assessment Review will expire on September 30th, 2014, creating a vacancy on the board. Whereas Mr. Cosgrove is willing to continue to serve on the Board of Assessment Review. Now therefore be resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, does hereby reappoint Kevin Cosgrove, a resident of the town of Plattsburgh, to the Board of Assessment Review for a term to expire September 30th, 2019. And be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the Board of Assessment Review Chairman and to the town assessor.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Rendebeck, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion?
I would just add that it also goes to him as well.
Yes, I just made a note of that. I don't know how that got left off. We will send a letter out of appreciation. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manning,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes.
Gerard Rendebeck.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 316, advertise for 2015 budget work sessions.
Whereas the tentative budget will be filed with the town clerk and placed on the Town of Plattsburgh website by September 30th, 2014. Whereas the town board will meet with various town departments to discuss their budget in an open and transparent manner, allowing interested individuals to observe the process. Now therefore be resolved that the town board hold public budget work sessions at the town hall complex on October 15th, 16th, and 17th, 2014, from 3 to 6 p.m. as needed, with October 21st and 22nd as alternative dates for further meetings if needed. And it be further resolved that the town clerk have a notice of said meetings published in the Press Republican, a copy to be posted on the clerk's bulletin board, and to have the notice posted on the town website. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and all department heads.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Cashman, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion?
I just want to bring back, I appreciate working on this to meet a new system on it, but I want to just continue to advocate also that that tentative budget is a line item of the budget that a lot of people are requesting as well.
We're going to post the line item budget. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manning,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes.
Gerard Rendebeck.
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 317, support of the Old Stone Barracks.
Whereas the old stone barracks in the city of Plattsburgh, Clinton County, is an important historical, cultural, and architectural resource in the town of Plattsburgh, as well as all the people of New York State and the nation. Whereas the old stone barracks has played an important role over more than 150 years in military history in the Champlain Valley and the nation. Whereas the historic importance of the old stone barracks has been recognized by its listing on the National Register of Historical Places. Whereas the Old Stone Barracks offers great educational opportunities for persons of all ages who are interested in history, architecture, and community development. Whereas the Old Stone Barracks has well sustained and enhanced the educational programming of the nearby Clinton County Historical Association, Battle of Plattsburgh Association, Transportation Museum, and the Plattsburgh Air Force Base Museum. Whereas the Old Stone Barracks has great potential to contribute significant economic benefits to local and regional communities. Whereas the Old Stone Barracks can be preserved, rehabilitated, and used in a manner that benefits the community in this region. And whereas the Friends of the Old Stone Barracks have dedicated to ensuring the future of the Old Stone Barracks property that is consistent with the historic and architectural significance, its meaning to the community, and the role it can play in the regional economic development. Therefore, be resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, endorses the efforts of the Friends of the Old Stone Barracks to acquire the Old Stone Barracks property, to engage the public in determining the highest and best use for said property, and to ensure this highest and best use for its future.
Have a motion. Mr. Wood, a second.
Second.
Mr. Cashman, any discussion? And I think I mentioned once before, very pleased, I know Marty plays a significant role in the committee, and has played a significant role in getting this property to be in control of the Friends of the Old Stone Barracks, maybe I should say the destiny in control, and our historian, Jerry Bates, who's also, I believe, president of that committee, and I know Jerry has worked very, very, very hard. So it's pleasing. There was a meeting recently at the Clinton Community College at the Stafford Arena, a very, very nice press conference and rollout, and it was pleasing. I was proud to see our deputy supervisor, councilman, our historian, and others involved in something that's a community issue, a regional issue that has great impact. And, you know, we forget, just like we were talking earlier about the events around the Battle of Plattsburgh these last several days, just tireless effort, and the weather certainly didn't discourage any of the participants by any means. That's what makes the difference. We've been talking a lot, there's going to be a lot more conversation in the near future about our community having a sufficient employment pool. And there's some concern about that. Paul Grasso did an article in the press this past Sunday, you may have seen. I've had several discussions with current employers, with those who seek to bring new companies to the area. And I want to say the comment I'm hearing most often, I was going to say growing concern, I think it's the comment I hear most often now, is the concern with finding a workforce in this community. Activities such as the ones I mentioned, I think, begin to make it a community that attracts people, that will be sustainable. Again, it creates that quality of life, that appeal that we hope will begin to impact that. It's a topic I've had some conversations with Congressman Owens as well, and others. You all know we've had a couple of symposiums here in the last couple of years. The next great one may be on how do we address the issue. We've got some demographic data. Colin Reed did some great work with the number of new families we had to get by 2040. We might need to get more aggressive in how we actually impact that. We don't want to be passive, we need to be proactive. But anyway, I think it all fits in, and this is a great effort by a few people, and I commend Jerry and Marty for their work. I don't know if you wanted to make any other comments. You've got the power of the camera here. Donations received any time?
I will make a couple comments. One, I'll be abstaining from voting because I am an officer of the Friends of the Old Stone Barracks. There obviously is no financial involvement on my part in the Friends of the Old Stone Barracks, but just to make sure everything is dealt with in a transparent fashion, I will abstain from voting on the measure. I look at the barracks, and there are many layers to what I see available to this community by preserving and rehabilitating, and then coming up with a sustainable future for the Old Stone Barracks. And among those is its location. And where it's located on that south end of the city of Plattsburgh, I see the old stone barracks being literally a linchpin to development that could occur on that end of the city of Plattsburgh. Not development in the sense of necessarily anything happening on that 7.75 acres that's going to happen, because that plot of land will probably not end up with buildings upon it, but it will end up being an area that will become a beacon for people to come to recreate on, to visit the museums that are there, to access the bike path, to access the Rotary Park, the Oval. The Oval will be a major tourist attraction as we go forward. It's amazing to me the number of people who have been here this summer who have commented on the architecture of the Oval, as they have seen that, because it's something they don't see elsewhere when they travel around the country. It's a very unique feature that we have in our community. So I'm excited about what the Oval can bring. On the other hand, the bottom line reason that we're involved in preserving the Old Stone Barracks is what it means to the military history in Clinton County. And it is, if you go back all the way to the French and Indian Wars and you go forward to the Cold War, to Plattsburgh Air Force Base, it is the linchpin that covers that time between what was called the Champlain Frontier all the way through the Plattsburgh Air Force Base. And if this community were not to rise to the occasion where this property can be purchased and preserved, then it will lose the barracks, because there is nothing within historical register status that guarantees the preservation of a building. And we have buildings that we have lost in this community that have been on the historical register, that have been allowed to just fall into decay and disappear.
You end up with a marker that says, once upon a time stood on this site.
That's right.
it. Yep. Thank you, Marty. Anyone have any other comments? Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Mark Manning?
Yes.
Michael Cashman? Gerard Rendell?
Yes.
Bernie Bass?
Yes, Marty, did you want to abstain or vote yes?
I will be abstaining.
Okay. I will change your yes to an abstain. Resolution is carried.
I didn't mean to do that.
I didn't think so. Okay.
Force of habit.
That ends our meeting. The other thing I wanted to point out, Deborah brought to my attention, I don't have the number this evening, but we like to look at similar periods in past years because a lot of things are cyclical. And we're quite a bit ahead of typically where we would be, I believe. We're ahead of where we would be as far as the number of resolutions. And we thought about that a little today. There's a lot of activity, but we've been consciously bringing to a resolution some activity that you might otherwise just do because you could. But it's more important that certainly everyone on the board and everyone in the community has a sense of the decision that we're making. It isn't always that it requires a resolution to be authorized, but a resolution is a good means of communication. So I'm going to be monitoring that a little bit more as we go through the year. It'll be interesting to see truly how much more activity. If you look at other municipalities, when you start getting into the 300s by this time of the year, we're quite significantly ahead of it's a lot of activity. That's it that I have. If no one has anything else, I seek a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Mr. Manning, second.
Second.
Mr. Brennan, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Mark Manning?
Yes.
Michael Cashman?
Yes.
Gerard Rendell?
Yes.
Bernie Bass?
Yes, we will adjourn at 7:47 p.m.